Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk, straight from their jocks about the jocks. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Football on the Know. I am Jim McPhee, alongside of me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, alls? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know Show.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is a special Tuesday edition tonight, Joe. That's right, because we have a very special guest for you today. It's the director of the media for the Albany Empire and also the host of the Back in the New York Groove podcast. It's Lindsey Weitz. Lindsey, pleasure to have you on the show.
Hi, guys.
Well, how you doing?
Good, yeah.
Despite being 0-3, I'm good.
Excellent. You know, I was thinking, I was listening to your podcast the other day, and you're called Back in the New York Groove. With the way the Giants have been playing, maybe you should change it maybe to the Rut, Back in the New York Rut, possibly, with the way the Giants have been.
Yeah, you know what? I came up with the name before the season started, and now it feels a little ironic considering we're in no way, shape, or form in a groove. I don't know what I'd call it, but it's not a groove. Certainly not. I mean, we're bad.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really know how to describe it other than that. Like, we're straight up a bad football team. So.
Yeah, and it stinks because it's like the typical type of Giants teams. I mean, like some of the games we show promise, like we're in it, but we just can't complete it. It's just, I don't know, something happens, whether a turnover or whatnot. I can't really place my finger on it sometimes. But let's just look forward or back at this past weekend real quick at something positive real quick. And Eli Manning was inducted into the Ring of Honor now. I know you're a big Eli person, so am I. And, you know, there's always that debate. You know, he's in the Ring of Honor now. Now, in your opinion, I'm sure it is a yes, but do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame? And will you please, if so, explain why to others that think he should not be?
Well, clearly, of course, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning gave me the two greatest days of my life. And, you know, I think the reason people think that he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame is because, you know, the interceptions and that kind of thing, which obviously the interception number is high. And it's not great. It's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think a lot of people look at the last few years of his career when he started to deteriorate, and they might say, oh, you know, he wasn't playing well. And I agree he wasn't. Then again, the last few years of his career, I think the Giants wasted. He was given Odell. Yeah, Odell was injured. You had a lot of injuries going on in the last few years of his career, so I agree. The last few years of his career weren't great. But the reason he should be in the Hall of Fame is you don't go into a game being played on the biggest stage in the world and beat the greatest quarterback of all time. And I'm saying that, you know, I'm saying Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time because there's really nobody else who has done what he has done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Giants defenses in those Super Bowl years were a huge reason that they won and then they even made it to the Super Bowl. But you can't win a game without scoring more points.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in and you play the way he did and you make the plays he did in those Super Bowls. And if I was voting for the Hall of Fame, even not as a Giants fan, clearly if I was voting for the Hall of Fame as just myself, I would vote for every single Giant up for, you know, induction. But those two nights, those two Super Bowls, I think that's Hall of Fame material.
Yeah.
And that's in 16-year career, the not missing a game due to injury. The only game he ever did not start was because of Ben McAdoo being an idiot.
Damn you, McAdoo. I know. Yeah. That hurt me too. I mean, you know, and I know what you're saying because, again, we've seen Eli Manning drafted and grow with the team, the ups, the downs, and then that's one of the things that we even really held on to. This guy has gotten knocked in the mouth, blood coming out of his face, you know, hurt fingers, kept playing through it all, right there on the heels of Brett Favre's record, I'd say, for the Ironman record, and because McAdoo decides he wants to make a change. Then afterwards, he's kind of like, oh, yeah, maybe I screwed up. Maybe I should just go back then. Oh, thanks. No, I appreciate that now. Thank you so much. You know? Excellent.
Yeah, I was at the game right after. McAdoo started Geno Smith in San Fran, and Ben McAdoo, I swear to God, I'm surprised he didn't run out of the stadium crying. I mean, I've been going to Giants games my whole life, and we're not a very mean fan base. But we were mean.
Yeah, that's good.
I've never seen everybody cheer so much for Eli Manning either.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think they're always known, too, for that one snowball fight game, I think, too, where they start throwing snow onto the field. Everybody's like, those New York fans. And I'm like, the hell with you. Those Philly fans, and sorry, Joe, those Raiders fans throw batteries and stuff at people. About. I mean, they are savages.
I don't know what you're talking about. You just got to be wearing the right colors. That's all.
Oh, man. Yeah, but those years were past us, and we thought maybe the losing was past us. We had those terrible years with McAdoo. I hated Shermer. You know, I couldn't wait for him to be gone. But now we're here with Joe Judge.
I can vouch
and
for that
all
too.
that. And the mess that we have here. And for a team that you know, or a coach really that preaches discipline like Joe Judge does, and he's very hard on everybody. He's making coaches run laps. There's a lot of miscues and problems with discipline during these games. What do you think is the problem here?
I'm at a loss for that one because all you heard all summer was Joe Judge being a hard ass, making him run laps, all training discipline, and then you get in the season, and I mean, we lost to Washington because of a penalty. It shouldn't have been a penalty. Dexter Lawrence wasn't offsides. I stand by that, and I will fight to the death of that. It was not offsides. But that's not the reason we lost that game. But the stupid penalties we're making. I mean, I'm completely at a loss for why those are being committed, considering the type of coach Joe Judge is. I mean, it might be the way the players feel about the coordinators right now.
Right.
Because if I was a player, I would love Joe Judge. I think he's an awesome coach. Anytime I need to psych myself up, I go watch his introductory press conference, and I'm ready to like run through a brick wall. I think he's a great football coach, and it confuses the crap out of me because there's no reason they should be committing.
Yeah, and it seems
young, yes, but still, you've played football your whole life,
right?
You know what a personal foul is.
And offsides like that is the worst too. Like Joe is already we really hammer this too, and if you're not the center, like seriously, wide receivers especially, you look at the ball. Just look at the ball when it moves. Go.
It's
right?
so simple. It's so simple.
I know. I see you there. I know. And then that's the thing too, because when I looked at that the replay still, I saw it too. But I'm at my home yelling at the TV, just like you probably were too. And I'm like, look at this, and nobody's reviewing it at all. Blah blah blah. Congratulations, cheers everywhere. And I'm just yelling still. I'm like, review it, and it's rough. And there's another loss.
Yeah. No, and we're gonna see it until the bye week. We're going 0-7 until the bye.
Oh, there you go. I know we have a tough schedule. There is a tough schedule ahead too. So I mean, that's the problem, and we needed to get a couple of these wins here.
So I mean, we've touched on Eli Manning and how great that was, that ceremony that happened for him, and that's all well and good. But I have a current question now that a lot of Giants fans, some NFL fans are kind of wondering. You know, first of all, do you believe in quarterback Daniel Jones is your quarterback for the long term? And if so, why?
I do.
Okay.
I'm a huge Daniel Jones fan. I love him as a quarterback. And as like a human being, I very well may be in love with him. I think.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Daniel, if you're watching our show.
That's right.
Yeah, Daniel Jones, if you're watching.
I'm going to tag him in this after. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we'll reach out to his people.
NFL life. But nice. I do.
Excellent.
For 2 years, he's a young quarterback. Young quarterbacks are going to make mistakes. And I think the reason everybody was so hard on him was because New York is a tough market to play in. It is one of the hardest markets in the country. I mean, you're in literally the biggest media market in the world, and you're playing as a rookie. It's a lot of pressure. And I'll make a little dig at Duke here. I'm a Virginia Tech student. Duke, basketball school. They don't feel the football pressure there.
Yeah, nice.
But he had showed promise the first 2 seasons. One, it was nice to have like a quarterback who could run. I was like, oh my god.
There you go, right?
This is crazy. I was like, wow, our quarterback runs the ball. This is great. Yeah, obviously he fumbled it. I've been saying somebody needs to get Tom Coughlin in the building and teach Daniel Jones how to keep it high and tight, because he needs to do that. But this year, Daniel Jones has looked really good. He's looked good with the god-awful plays that Jason Garrett calls for him. He hasn't thrown an interception this year, which, the last 2 years you would expect him to do. You can tell he's clearly matured and he's making smarter decisions with the balls that he's throwing to whoever, because that's on a rotation because of all the dang injuries. And also another thing, Daniel Jones has not played with all of his weapons for literally more than 5 minutes. Ever. He is not. And it's really hard to be a quarterback when your receivers drop the ball. Because he's an extremely accurate passer. You watch him on the deep balls, and
definitely.
all where it needs to be. And when the receivers don't catch it, people put that on Daniel Jones because it shows up as an incompletion on the stat line. But the stat line doesn't, tell the whole story. And I think a lot of people look at that and say, oh, well,
right. Yeah.
He's not it. But, I mean, look at Daniel Jones's 12 interceptions from last year. Literally half of them were because Evan Ingram can't catch the ball.
I agree.
I don't Daniel Jones puts it exactly where it needs to be in Evan Ingram's hands, and Evan Ingram can catch it.
Yeah.
I would mark that under Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram, no catches, 6 interceptions.
That's right. Definitely.
Who actually got booed by the fans this particular last weekend too as well.
I mean, I was included in that. I was voicing my disdain for him every single time he came on the field, and cheered when he came off, just like everybody else in MetLife.
Excellent.
And he had a couple of drops last week, and not to mention a fumble.
Yeah.
I mean, the one difficult catch that he makes, he ends up giving the ball back to the opponent.
It's time for the Giants to accept that he's a bust.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It happens. It happens to every single team. It's time to accept it and get him off the roster. I would literally take like a half-eaten sandwich in a trade for him. I don't even need another player. Just get him off the roster. And you can tell they're like, oh, he's gonna get better.
Yeah.
And like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
He sucks.
Oh.
He still sucks. He sucked last year. He sucks now. He's gonna suck this year. I hate him.
And when you already have 2 capable tight ends right now with Kyle Rudolph and Caden Smith, I mean, why not just use those guys and move on?
Because Evan Ingram has proven to you time and time again that he can't get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a waste of
Yeah, and that's the problem with Dave Gettleman, I think, now that everybody's asking the question about. The decisions he's made. He said he's coming in there. He's going to take care of the offensive line. We're all like, yeah, all right. Finally, somebody that said they're going to do this. And some of the decisions he made, especially when there was Andrew Thomas right there, he picked him instead over top of other guys that were there that now are showing, like Tristan Wirfs and things like that are looking really nice for other teams. And meanwhile, we're here still having questions about Thomas, and our offensive line is still battered, beaten, broken, and in dismay.
Yeah. No, Dave Gettleman confuses me. He legitimately, I sit there and I don't understand it, because Dave Gettleman goes out and gets James Bradbury, Blake Martinez, Kenny Galladay this year. His free agent classes have been good, and then he'll just do really weird things in the draft. Like, I don't dislike the Andrew Thomas pick. I think he's definitely showed improvement this year.
Mm-hmm.
I find the Kadarius Toney pick to be absolutely baffling to me. The trade? Oh my God, I loved that.
Yeah.
Loved the trade. But we should have taken Chris and Darashaw.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you had said that in your podcast.
I'm making a little bias there again.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
I watched him at Tech and he looked good, and he was. People were saying stuff about injuries, but I didn't think that was too much of an issue. But I mean, you take a wide receiver at what, number 14? Is the purpose of that to use him? Up until this past Sunday, I had more NFL yards than Kadarius Toney did, and I sit in my basement and podcast with the New York Giants. So that's an issue. That's a big issue. I had more yards than he did.
Exactly. And what's funny was we were watching that draft. When we did our mock draft, we saw the Giants taking Micah Parsons, and now
that's what I thought we were going to do too.
Yeah, and now you see what he's doing on our rival team, the Dallas Cowboys, and you're kind of like, God damn you, Gettleman again. You're kind of like, but. And then Kadarius Toney, like you said, and then you hear even in the offseason, before everything gets started, he's got a rap career he wants to get going and all this other stuff. Yeah. You're like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. And it amazes me because you do your research on these guys.
Yeah, where's the character research, right?
Because I've heard it may be an attitude thing, but it's like, how did you not know that before? It's not like you're sitting in the draft room on draft day and be like, yeah, I've never heard of him, but he seems like a good idea, number 14. No, you do your research into these guys, not just as players, but as players off the field and like regular old human beings.
Yeah, right.
If they have a problem, why'd they take it?
Yeah, all 32 teams, they do their due diligence on every single prospect that they're interested in, and they do a ton. It's not just, what have you done on the football field in college? It's also like, behavioral issues that they may or may not have, any kind of crime that they might have committed in the past, whether it could be the minorest thing of stealing bubble gum from the corner store. I mean, they know pretty much everything.
You don't want that. And I mean, because obviously they don't want to run into another DeAndre Baker situation, Sam Beal situation. Right. Even going as far back as Plaxico Burress situation.
Yeah.
You don't want those.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I don't. The only thing that I've mixed feelings about the first round of the draft because you just fleeced the Chicago Bears. You could tell they wanted Justin Fields and they were going to do whatever they wanted to get that. And Dave Gettleman clearly saw the benefit in that. So we're going to have 2 first-round picks this year, and they're going to be in the top 10. So that's so exciting. Kadarius Toney, don't understand. Azeez Ojulari, though?
Yeah, that's looking nice, right?
Picks these last few years have been awesome. I love Azeez Ojulari. He should have gone in the first round. He was first-round talent, and we got him in the second round, and he's showing he's first-round talent.
Oh, definitely. And that's the thing with a guy like Azeez. Like, even in that draft, there was so many prospects that everybody wanted to label him as first-round talent, but you can only pick so many. So luckily for the Giants, sitting right there for them with their second overall pick, and there they have it. They got themselves a pass rusher.
He's performing. He is the highest pro football focused pass rush grade out of any single rookie right now. And that's gonna be super important with the loss of Blake Martinez.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. And that hits hard, too. And that's the thing. When we're already down, and then Blake's down now, torn ACL, and you're like, come on. Is it going to get any better?
Two captains in a row, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Why are you going to do us like that?
Yeah.
So let me ask you real quick then. Now that you brought up Blake Martinez, how much do you think Blake Martinez is going to affect the, without him being there for the Giants, how much is it going to affect the defense going forward?
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad because you're an opposing offense. You're going to be like, wow. So the whole middle of the field, they just lost their starting middle linebacker who's a tackling machine. I'm going to sit there all day and target that middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like the opposing offenses are stupid, because they're not the Giants.
Right.
The loss of Blake Martinez is going to hurt us significantly, because already the defense has not been playing well. And I don't know what Patrick Graham did differently this year, but I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So the defense hasn't been performing the way they did last year, which confuses me because we have almost everybody back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then even then some, right?
Yeah. I think the only guy we really lost was BJ Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out and you draft Adoree Jackson, Azeez Ojulari. There was another, Rodarius Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you go and take all these defensive guys. So not only do you have almost everybody returning, you add some, and your defense isn't playing well.
Right.
The defense, Teddy Bridgewater, looked like league MVP week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like converting 4 fourth downs in the first half. You really let him do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like we watched it, and this is what's funny too. Is you were right on the same wave with everything that we've been talking about too as well. It's pretty amazing. You can't stand zone. You like man. We love man too, and even with the way the defense is set up. That's what they were doing. They were doing soft zone the whole time, and people were just dropping it down and picking them apart one by one. You saw Taylor Heineke do it. Taylor Heineke. Damn you, Heineke. You know, and it was ridiculous. And you're watching this, and it's disgusting. And you know that even you have the personnel to really go man on people,
Right.
especially
One
with
of the best corners.
you have.
I already playing him man to man.
Absolutely. And the one thing that bothers me too is putting Jabril Peppers in the box, going single high safety, and that's when you want to do man. Yeah, Jabril Peppers. Yeah, okay, he's going to hang with everybody. That's a great idea. You know, how about this? How about drop Logan Ryan down into the box and put Jabril Peppers back at safety in his spot and keep McKinney and Peppers back there, and there you go. Yeah. How about do that? A guy that can actually cover, a safety that can play safety and corner. There you go. Because Jabril Peppers is just getting cooked in the box. I can't stand it, and that's what killed us last week as well.
He shouldn't be in coverage.
No.
He's just not that kind of safety, though.
No.
He can do tons of other things, sure, but he's not. He shouldn't be in coverage.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I always thought, stay back at safety because that's his position there. But again, blitzing on the outside, perfect. You want him to be the blitzing safety on the inside of the box, run it. But put him back there, no, I don't think so. And again, it happens time and time again, and you keep seeing it. And like you said, watching those first couple weeks, that soft zone that they're doing, I think they improved the last week and maybe a little the second half of the game in week 2, but still not, up to where they probably were last year.
No, and I've never liked zone. I'm just saying, if I was the defensive coordinator for the Giants and I had those guys, soft zone would literally be the last thing on my list.
Yeah, it seemed like they were ready to play prevent when the game began. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, let's give everything up under the middle and not give up the deep ball. What about Teddy Bridgewater and what about Taylor Heineke says, these guys might beat us deep. We got to watch out. So we got to give them everything underneath. Nothing. Right?
And that's how they beat us.
Yeah.
Is because we let them walk all over us in the 10, 12-yard range, but Denver isn't an offense that's going to pass it 40 yards downfield. The 10, 12-yard range is where they're going to throw it. And when you let them do it, that's how they kill you.
Absolutely.
And I think Patrick Graham made adjustments for the second half because it looked better in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I would have been much happier if we started off not playing soft zone. Also, the Giants are so bad. If we're down, we're not coming back.
Right.
Even if we're up, we're not going to win. So either way, the Giants are not going to be a team where we can come out in the second half and, put together a winning campaign in the second 2 quarters. It's not going to happen. So when you let the opposing offense just destroy you first half, you've lost the game at halftime. And they did against Denver. That game was over at halftime. And I was sitting in that stadium week 1. I was like, yeah, so this game's over. I'm just staying for the entertaining Broncos fans now.
Actually, I'm here for your entertainment.
I was staying for the Broncos fan arguing with me in front of me, who was like, was clearly underestimating me and what I know, and schools him, whatever, do it all the time. He's like, I'm like, this is why I stayed, so I could just make fun of you, because you're gonna look at me and think, oh, blonde chick, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Like, I'll argue with you the whole game, buddy. And he ended up moving down because I think he was embarrassed. So at that point, game over at halftime, I was staying for the entertainment of the Broncos fans because they were just entertaining me at that point.
Excellent.
And also, hadn't been to a football game in 18 months. I feel like I can't. First game back, I can't leave. And
that's
also,
the
I've
thing.
never been the kind of fan that's going to leave. So.
Yep. Excellent. We are talking to the director of media for the NAL Champions now, Albany Empire. That's right,
Let's
Joe.
go.
That was an amazing game. We'll get to that in a little bit. But and also host of the Back in the New York Groove podcast. It's Lindsey Weitz. We have Paulie Matty in the house with us tonight. Hey, Paulie, you're out there. You're our boy here. If you got questions for Lindsey, let him rip out here. And Michael Guerrero, too. Shout out to you as well, too. But yeah, we've covered, Daniel Jones, and when you take a look, like you said, you take a look at Daniel Jones' stats right now. He's throwing 65%. He's got 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And right now he's leading us in rushing in 161 yards with 2 touchdowns. But the again, that everybody wants to point out, like that red mark, is the 3 fumbles where he end up turning it over. And then also the other one, the lack of points. So let's look at the fumbles. And for me, when I watched this team last year and people are trying to analyze Daniel Jones too, and he might not be it, he's it here and there, I found myself not saying like, oh, he isn't it, I'm done. It's more like the turnovers weren't really as frequent as when they happened in the game, I would say. Like right at key pivotal points in the game, that's when it would happen. You saw in this Denver game, too, as well, week 1, where he's scrambling. Looks like he's going to get the first down for us, and we're going to roll down there and win this game. And cough it all out, is over, and that's the Daniel Jones way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It's and Tom Coughlin, if you're listening, quick trip to East Rutherford. Just teach him how to keep it high and tight.
Yeah, or even make amends with Tiki Barber, because he had the fumbling problem, and then he learned real quick.
Tom Coughlin taught him high and tight. And gosh, what was it? Against Atlanta, he had a fumble, but he recovered it.
Yes.
And yeah, if he's gonna fumble, he's gonna recover it. That's a step in the right direction.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, he didn't feel that pressure. It was like right on his neck. Like, how do you not see that? Like right there.
I know.
Luckily he looked down. He's like, oh no, and jumped right back on it. And you saw
that'll improve as he spends more time in the league.
Absolutely.
Learn,
But
he's young in his 3rd year.
But the thing is too. Well, let me bring this up first here before we get into this. Now, I listened to your show last week, I think it was too. And I'm just going to ask you straight up right now, is it time to start your hashtag kidnap Jason Garrett right now?
Yes! Yes! Kidnapping Jason Garrett! Yes! I am taking him. He'll be fine. I have a nice little whole room in my basement for him. He'll get food and water and all that. He'll have amenities, whatever. But I'm going to make him sit in my basement and watch all the god-awful plays he's been calling for 2 years. So, yes, I'm kidnapping Jason Garrett, and I'm taking his place.
There you go. Hey, who knows? What could really happen?
It's
could it get
one way to
worse,
go about
right?
it.
Could it get worse?
The wire glasses, long sleeve, blue shirt. Nobody will know the difference.
There you go. Excellent.
Except for Stephen play calling. That might give it away. But, yes, I'm kidnapping Jason Garrett.
Nice.
I might add Evan Ingram in the mix too at this point.
There you go. And that's the thing, though, too. If you watch the games, and this is the troubling thing about Jason Garrett, right? You're watching it and you're saying, I don't know about you, probably on the same wavelength here with us too. You've been all the way. I'm watching Daniel Jones last year, and also I know his ability to run, and I'm thinking to myself, why aren't we doing more RPOs or run designs for Daniel Jones? Yes, that one game, the turf monster somehow snuck up and tripped him the one time, but he has some pretty decent speed, and he can run. And then you see it in week 2 where they do it a lot, and it's successful, and his idea is, oh, we can't do that again this week. No, everybody will know we're going to be doing that. Like, what the hell are you doing?
I know why it is. He's a corporate spy. Jerry Jones sent him from Dallas to New York to spy on the Giants. Because you know what? Dallas is going to have a perfect plan for our offense in 2 weeks. And you want to know why it is? It's because he is still on Jerry Jones' payroll.
Oh, that would be.
That's my current theory.
You're hurting me. That hurts. Oh.
That's my theory. He's a corporate spy.
I believe you on that one. It could be. You never know. That's why some of these guys get hired. I mean, you even see a guy, when another team in that division picks him up, you're like, we don't really need that guy. Why are you picking him up? It's so, hey, buddy, what you know about these guys? All right, cool. You're the practice squad. Oh, now you're cut. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. No, Jay, he calls plays like he's afraid to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's like, oh my God, we almost won. I can never do that again.
Mm-hmm.
That can't happen. No winning.
Mm-hmm.
No winning. He's uncreative. He's afraid. Calls plays like a pansy. Like,
you can say it. You can say it.
all right, he calls plays like a fucking pussy.
There you
go. There you go.
Let it
Jason
out.
Garrett, up and up. It's football season.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I was told as a kid when I got hurt.
Yep.
And it's sort of become my mantra, and some of my friends at college are like, what are you talking about? Stop being a bitch. Toughen up. Football season. And they're like, oh my God. I'm going to drive to 1925 Giants Drive in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm going to walk in there, and I'm going to slap Jason Garrett across the face and tell him to toughen up because he calls plays like a bitch.
Yeah.
And he's a grown man. He played football.
Absolutely.
How can you be afraid to win?
Yeah, and you know what? I brought this up to the other day to a couple Giants fans I was talking to as well, and it's starting to remind me of Kevin Gilbride a little bit. Do you remember those days?
Kevin Kildrive.
Yeah, exactly, right?
He called him in my house.
Exactly.
He was Kevin Kildrive in my house.
And that's what it's kind of like, because even you see that game where it looked like all was lost, Xavier McKinney comes up with the pick. Not Xavier McKinney. It was Bradbury. Bradbury came up with a pick after he had a horrible game. All of a sudden, heroes shine at the brightest times, and then run to dead center, and then a big whiff. Like, what are you doing? We're going to settle. We're going to settle for 3. We're here. We're close. Why don't we just settle for 3? That's good enough, or whatever. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And the lack of aggression is sickening.
Oh, my God. Yes. Yes. There is no spirit of football in Jason Garrett. Football's a tough game. It's a hard-hitting game. Just like Joe Judge said in his introductory press conference, we're going to come out, then we're going to hit you in the mouth for 60 minutes. Jason Garrett feels none of that energy at all. Jason Garrett seems like he thinks of football like it's golf, where you have to be able to play and, proper. No, it's football. You're supposed to be aggressive. I would hope Jason Garrett has gotten that message by now.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he hasn't. But I cannot think of worse play calling. I mean, it's just bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like,
it's lame, and you're not using anybody you have the way you should.
Right. You see frustration, all around with all the receivers.
And
Galladay.
They're to the sidelines. I would do the same thing.
Yep. And you know what? I'm giving you credit on that too, because I listened to your podcast, and when everybody was saying that he was yelling at Daniel Jones, you were right there saying it was Jason Garrett the whole time. So I commend you for that one. I thought maybe he was yelling at the equipment organizer for not polishing his helmet correctly or something. I wasn't sure. He was just yelling over in that direction. But you had the clear mind to say it was Jason Garrett. So congratulations.
If you're Kenny Galladay, why wouldn't you be upset with Jason Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
you're brought in here to make plays. They're paying you $72 million to make plays. And then your idiot offensive coordinator is over here refusing to use you to make plays. I'd be angry.
Yeah.
I'd be really angry.
Yeah, it's your offensive line stinks. You're getting pressured nonstop. Let's send everybody deep, and then we'll just see if he gets open. It's like that's what it kind of seems like.
No, and you know what? The offensive line isn't as bad. I feel like the offensive line's kind of all over the place because you have Andrew Thomas, who didn't allow a single sack last Thursday against Washington and only 2 pressures. But the left guard next to him keeps changing in and out. Nate Solder, he's old. Even after taking a pay cut, he's still overpaid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was excited for the signing when he signed him, and then he played a game. I'm like, okay, so this man is so clearly past his prime.
Yep. Yeah.
He's like, he needs to be out in like pasture somewhere, hanging out, like, chilling, not playing right tackle in the National Football League. His prime was with the Patriots.
Right.
Yep.
And I think there may be a little thing with Joe Judge there that like he kind of wants to hang on. But
and that should have been the indicator, right? That should have been the indicator when Patriots just kind of let him walk out and just go into free agency, and he was sitting out there in free agency for a little while. To be honest, I mean the Giants weren't even targeting him; they were targeting Andrew Norwell, who was a free agent. That was the guy that they wanted, and when they missed out on him, they're like, all right, I guess we're gonna have to get this guy.
They settled.
Exactly. But you know what? We know earlier you were talking about like maybe becoming the offensive coordinator or D coordinator or something like that. Let's move up to the front office. Let's go to Dave Gettleman. We're gonna kick him out.
Wow.
All right. We're gonna put you in the
I'll
GM spot.
All right.
We're gonna put you in the GM spot right now. So what I want to ask you is in the GM position, as a Giants fan, as a Giants person that knows football and knows the NFL. What moves would you make either via free agency or maybe in a trade of some sort or anything? For what positions?
The right side of the line. Specifically the right tackle. I get rid of Nate Solder. And
that contract, though, that's kind of a killer.
Yeah, no. And that might be one of the situations where you're going to say you bite the bullet and you just
kind of do it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you I don't know, you do something with him, you get him to take another pay cut. If I was the Giants GM tomorrow, I am focusing on offensive line in that first round of the draft.
Yes. She's already better than Dave.
Yep. Sign up.
Pretty much nothing else. Because we're not taking an offensive lineman in the first, we have 2 first-round picks. Honestly, if we took offensive linemen with both of them,
yes,
I wouldn't be upset. Because we need somebody constant next to Andrew Thomas. Because with the loss of Nick Gates, it seems like Will Hernandez is going to have to move a little. So either you get the guys to solidify the right side so you can have Andrew Thomas and Will Hernandez next to each other.
Yes.
And you got to start planning for the fact that Nick Gates may never be able to play football again.
Right. And that's what it looks like it's trending towards.
Yes. I'm devastated. I love Nick Gates. I think he's a badass. He's funny and he's a great center. But if you're the Giants GM, there's a seriously significant chance that he will never play football again. If an injury is so bad, the broadcasters will not replay it.
Right.
It's bad when they won't even show it to you. So I'm targeting centers, and I'm targeting right guards, right tackles. Offensive line, number 1 issue. Then linebackers. I want somebody to complement Blake Martinez. And especially because he'll be back next year, but he'll be coming off an ACL. So I want a young guy to sort of take some of the workload off Blake Martinez while he's still recovering.
Right.
So I want to beef up the linebacker core because I think linebackers are one of the most important positions on defense because if you don't really have good linebackers, you're kind of leaving yourself wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Like,
the Eagles are
I
seeing that right now.
The Eagles are hurting.
So, okay, so real quick, I just kind of like looked it up right now. So linebackers that are in free agency right now that you could add to your team tomorrow. Benardrick McKinney is available, 28 years old still got some gas in the tank. I feel like he could fit in nicely with that Giants defense. Todd Davis, I don't know if he re-signed with the Giants yet or if he's still out there in free agency, but he's a guy that knows the system. He's 29 years old, so he could come right in. And then Avery Williamson, which is an interesting free agent. I believe he signed elsewhere, but if he was available, that would be another good addition.
I would, because you're in the middle of the season, I would probably lean towards the guy who knows your defense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're signing somebody in free agency 3 games in, you want to be able to throw them in tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not opposed to like bringing somebody in that we had before who knows the defense, but also how hard is it to teach somebody?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
It'll take a little bit of time. Usually with a veteran coming into a new team, usually it's about like a week to 2 weeks until they know your system.
Exactly.
So
I'm not too worried. I'd be happy with either. The Giants need to get somebody in there immediately to, one, be a leader on the defense because you lost a captain.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So veteran's important there. I want him to have experience. I like the 28, 29 age range. I want a vet. And also to solidify the middle of the field because you lost your best tackler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And you're completely exposed up the middle. Completely. So I would want speed, leadership, and textbook tackling because that's one of the things I really like about Blake Martinez is you can tell he's a textbook tackler. And
yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah. That's one of the things I absolutely love about him is you see so many players in the NFL nowadays, like they kind of half-ass their tackles and they'll try and pull him down like by an arm or something. I'm like, no, you got to wrap him up.
Yeah. My favorite one is the one where they just hit you with their shoulder.
The shoulder block.
Just bounce off.
God.
They just bounce off and keep going.
That's not a tackle.
Yeah.
I can tackle better than that.
Right? Yeah, I know. That's the sad thing. Things you're taught back in Pee Wee football, head up, look at it, wrap up, and they're doing something completely different.
They've been playing Madden too much.
Hit stick.
That's really what it is. Hit stick.
Yeah. No, so I would like to get somebody who has Blake Martinez's style of play.
Mm-hmm.
And the finishing the tackles is really the most important thing to me because that was one of the best things about him is he finished his tackles.
Right.
Because there's nothing that makes me angrier when like your defense guy's just like really?
That's why I thought it was strange when they released Ryan Connolly because I thought even though he ended up getting injured for the whole season or whatever, but in that preseason he was really like a ball hawk all over it and wrapping up. He was nice again, textbook tackler. And then to see him move on, it was sad. But you know what? The Detroit Lions just dropped Jamie Collins, so they'll probably get Jamie Collins. He's a former Patriot, so we never know.
True, but I just don't see him fitting.
I don't
into
see
that
it
type
either,
of,
but you
that type
never
of
know.
defense.
But
I mean,
Giant. Honestly, I don't think Dave Gettleman's going to go out and get somebody.
Anyway, you just ride it out.
Just gonna ride it out. Let's just see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a long road. Like she said, I mean, if you take a look at this schedule, it only gets harder. You've got the Chargers, you've got the Chiefs, I mean, the Saints. But we've seen the Saints go up and down too, so I think a couple of those games could be really close and a surprise, I think.
We can compete, but I don't think we're going to win.
Yeah.
Dallas is going to kick our ass. The Rams are going to slaughter us. We're going to go to Kansas City and get absolutely murdered on Monday Night Football. Raiders are going to kill us. Then Tampa Bay in Tampa on Monday night. Done. Philly with all the injuries they've had, maybe. Miami, they looked okay. Nothing like that I could see being like a close game that we choke at the
I feel like
second.
you guys could beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think so too. We can. Let's hope.
I mean, listen.
If you don't have hope, what do we have right now? All right, come on.
I have hope for 2 or 3 wins.
Yes. I'm not one of those fans. You're not one of those fans either. I could probably tell, but you're not one of the ones that are like, oh, we're tanking for this, whatever. I hope we lose to get this. Yeah, I didn't think so either.
No, I don't believe in tanking. I think it's stupid, but I'm going to be honest. I'll be completely honest. I don't see us winning more than 2 or 3 games.
Okay.
Unless you take away play calling duties from Jason Garrett and you tell Patrick Graham to go back to the scheme he was using last year. But Judge said the other day there's adjustments in the game plan, but they're not taking play calling duties away from coordinators. So we're stuck with Jason Garrett.
All right. Well, we'll see
at the very least, you can hope that Dave Gettleman will start to notice some things and be like, hey, you guys got to change stuff. You guys got to do something.
All right, so we ran through this scenario that you were the GM, but if, they do get rid of Gettleman, is there somebody in mind that you kind of like that they interviewed possibly last year that you would like in that position?
That's a good...
I already have the guy.
Yeah, we already have the guy.
All right, who's your guy then?
Louis Riddick.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
100%.
There you go. Boom. Ding, ding, ding.
That's what I was thinking. Ding, motherfucker. Yes, totally. Get him in the building tomorrow.
That's it.
Absolutely.
I was disappointed when we did not hire.
Yeah, he went for the interview and then he ended up leaving the building.
Yeah. I was upset.
So talking about the schedule now, I like to ask different people this question is like, now that the NFL's made this change of adding an extra week to the regular season, what are your thoughts about this going forward? Do you think this is going to perhaps ruin teams as they get down towards the end of the season, maybe having potential shot at in the playoffs, or maybe they already are in the playoffs, but they're going in limping? You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on this?
So if you had asked me a year ago as strictly a fan, I would have been elated.
Yeah, it's an extra week, right?
More football. I'm always here for more football.
Yes.
As somebody who has worked in the front office of a football team and seen how a front office works, I think you are going to see an increase in not serious injuries, but those mild, like hamstring
nagging injuries.
Yeah, the nagging injuries, you're going to see a lot of those. And the players, I'm sure, are upset. The NFL clearly did this for money.
Right.
Why would they? It's clearly, they're like, oh, we can make so much more money. And as a business, of course you would. But I'm sure I think your players are going to be more conservative now.
Right.
Because they know they have an extra week that they've got to be healthy. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see guys playing a little more on the conservative side.
Yeah. So, okay. So my thing then would be if me and Jim had an idea, and our idea was when we heard about this news, they're like, oh, they're adding an extra week. Okay, great. Fans love it. Yeah, we get an extra week of football. Yeah. Amazing. However, we also were thinking like on the lines of like the players, like how's that going to, hurt them? And yeah, okay, they get an extra week's pay, but it doesn't make up for the fact that they're limping into that week. But we were thinking like, what if they added, when we understand it's about money, what if they added a second bye week of the season for each team? And that way you could schedule it to where, yes, they'll have an extra rest, but you still have that extra week too.
Exactly. That's the way I think it would balance out to where you make the players happy.
Yes.
And the NFL still gets their money.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, it's not like when the Giants are on a bye week, it's not like the NFL doesn't make any money. Because all the other teams are playing like, I think you do add another bye week in there. to balance out the extra game. And I think that's how you keep the players happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also, if I'm a front office, I want that second bye week, because you're a player and you're like, okay, well, I have to play 17 instead of 16 games now. I want more money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So you add the extra buy-in and you keep your players happy, and I think they might go to that in a year or two.
Yeah, they might. They might.
Have the NFLPA complaining.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're gonna have them in the NFL's ear saying, "Hey."
Yeah, it's possible. It could be in the conversation. Definitely. All right, I
Right,
got
and
one
with
last
that-
question for you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Can I just bring this up real quick?
Go ahead.
What do you think about this now? Say you move back, it's going to be 18 weeks. That gives it that position to move it further into February. So are you on board with having the Super Bowl the weekend of President's Day weekend and having that particular Monday off?
Yes, because I've always said the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday should be a national holiday.
There you go. There you go. Because I think if they do that, you add that extra week and you don't try and say get rid of the preseason altogether and start your season earlier. I'd say you keep moving it back, and then it lies right in place, and it's going to flow nicely right there.
Yeah, that will definitely make a lot of fans happy.
Everybody's going to be happier with that Monday off.
Yes,
100%.
everybody would rejoice. Yeah.
If I was ever president of the United States, the first thing I would ever do would be make the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday, a national holiday.
Well, there you
First
go.
thing I would do.
Yes.
So now she's running for president now too.
That's
Here we
it.
go. Let's do
she's
it.
got my
Joe.
vote.
Let's go.
She's got
So
my
I've
vote.
got science offensive coordinator, Giants GM, and now president.
Yes.
Yes.
Taking all these jobs. I'm here
Amazing.
for it.
And
we
it
love it.
doesn't stop
Yeah.
there,
That's
because the
right.
last question is, if you were the NFL commissioner
Oh,
for one day, what's something that you would change in the NFL?
I would get rid of this stupid ass taunting.
No. Yeah. Nice.
What the hell is that? What is it? You have like basically taken the fun competitive nature in the game and said, oh yeah, you can't do that anymore. I'm sorry. No, that rule, ripping it right out of the rule book, scribbling it out. No, absolutely no more of that. Oh, and then I'm deporting the Philadelphia Eagles after that.
Philadelphia goes after that. Nice.
All
Yeah.
fan base,
By the way,
everything. Picking them up and I'm moving to an island because I hate them.
there you go. Well, she's doing the politics right now, because that's what I mean. She could add it in that bill. There you go. Like, by the way, we'll put this in small lettering right here. Just sign right here. All right. And then within that whole thing, there you go. There goes the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, what the hell?
Philadelphia Eagles are no longer in existence. Thank you.
Nice. Awesome.
Fine print. I'll check them with the fine print. But no, I hate the taunting penalty. I think it completely takes away like that fun competitive nature that
Well, the problem is too, I think
want from
it's
professional athletes.
it's very conflicting all the time. It's like when you're trying to discipline a child, we'll say, or trying to set rules. If you say, "Oh no, you can't do that. You can't jump around. You can't do this," and then all of a sudden you're like, "Well, it's okay this one time. Why don't you jump around and you can do this?" Blah blah. Oh, now you're getting out of hand. Now you got to stop. Now you can't do it. Now you can't do it. And then you do it, and that's what they've been doing. They allowed, Chad Johnson with the cell phone and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Then, that's too much. You're spreading, taking too long. It's offensive. We'll take it away. And then all of a sudden they say, hey, let's bring it back because it is fun. And now teams are choreographing dances in the end zone, going up to a specific camera in the back of the end zone to celebrate an interception that happened 60 yards way down the other side of the field. And now you want a flag for a taunt that's like a dude right in the dude's face, just, real quick. Just bam, bam.
Yeah,
it's very confusing.
It is. It's just.
I mean,
I
mean, you know what? Like, it's not confusing to me, like, why the NFL was doing some of these things. However,
I know, but
these are grown men. These are grown men. These aren't, teenagers on the high school football field where, you're trying to teach them, being a team player and all this other thing.
Yeah,
These are grown ass men. Let them taunt each other, because guess what? They get those rights. When you pull off a big play or you end up winning the game, you have a right to say what you got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also that's part of like the theatrics of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Competitive nature, like the trash talking. It's my favorite part of football.
Yeah, they have
it.
mic'd up for a reason.
Talk at 11 years old by the guys who sit behind us, and it is my favorite part of sport. I live for trash talk.
Absolutely. And,
So
and,
11-year-old me was like talking shit, and they're like, "What is going on right now?"
and we talk
Sit
about
down,
the
old
NFL.
man. You're like,
I love
bam.
trash talk.
We talk about the NFL. I run 2 leagues in flag football. There is nothing but trash talk between us. Nothing. So,
And that's the best part of sports.
yeah, it is. It's amazing.
It's so much fun.
Absolutely.
I love trash talking, and it's like let them play, let them play, let them have fun, let them do their thing.
Lindsey, I have one last question. I know it's kind of going a little longer than we anticipated, but how often do you get to the Giants games?
I will be at every single Giants home game.
Excellent.
Except week 18.
Except when?
Week 18.
Week
I have to go back
18.
to school to go back to my little sorority girl
All
life.
right, well, we'll
Oh,
be down
hey.
there for Giants
My
Raiders.
alter egos. I have like my Giants life, and then I
Yep.
have my little Southern sorority girl life, so I have to go back to that. But
Oh,
Gotcha.
we've had season tickets since MetLife opened.
Excellent.
nice.
Awesome.
And I live to go to Giants games. I've been going since I was 4.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I grew up tailgating. My summers were spent at training camp at UAlbany when it was still at UAlbany. Like, I
Yeah.
grew up watching football, and now this year I'm home for the semester because COVID sucks.
Mhm.
But that also means I get to go to like every Giants home game, and that is a dream come true.
Good for you. Yes.
Honestly, I go to school in Virginia. I can't really get to the games as much because
Right.
it's a 9.5-hour drive
Oh, yeah.
home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I have done for football games. I actually did it first week of September for Virginia Tech football, and my family did it 2017 when the Giants played the Redskins on Thanksgiving. So, but when you have like the whole school thing to do,
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of puts a
But-
damper on things now, right?
it does.
Just
Really,
switch to online school. Just stay here. Damn it.
I'll be at every single one. I'm in tailgate. Our tailgates are kind of immaculate. We're in G11 on the median.
There we go.
Every single-
Right at
G11, I got to get my
G11.
parking pass because we are going to the Raiders game.
That's right.
I'll be there.
Joe is a Raiders fan,
I am.
born and raised.
Oh, okay.
I am a Giants fan, and we're bringing 2 other Giants fans with us, so
Yeah,
it's going to be epic.
It's 3 Giants and a Raider. It sounds like a movie.
It does.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to come. But you know what? We are gonna be your best friend up until game time. We're gonna trash talk you all 60 minutes, and then after,
It's all right.
you know,
It's all
being
good.
out in the parking lot, have 3 beers. We're friends again.
It's
So
all good.
We're good, but that's why I love New York is because we're not Philly. We won't like literally beat the shit out of you for like being a fan of another team.
Right. We're the real city of brotherly love. All right, come on. We're
No,
not a
that's
bunch
true,
of
though.
posers.
We're not assholes.
Yeah.
We will accept opposing fans.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
we'll accept opposing fans. So you'll be okay in New York. Philadelphia.
I've been there a few times.
Yeah,
been to
my
New
dad
York.
said I'm not allowed to go. I'm the type of person who I will go out there and like just be super loud and super be like, go Giants! And then that's how I'll get my ass kicked. So my dad said I'm not allowed to go.
Nice. Excellent. Well, we hope to see you there.
Oh yeah.
I just want to touch on the Empire a little bit too. We can't do the interview without talking about the Empire, the NAL Champions. We were there at the championship game because of you, and we thank you very so much for
Thank
that.
you so
It was
much.
an amazing
Appreciate
time.
I'm
And
glad.
oh, what a game. Now,
Awesome.
let me just
Yeah.
bring this up again first before we get to the game here. The 7-1 record, the only loss was to the Lions. They have to play the Lions in the championship game, and that first half, wow. Like we were controlling the tempo of the game, but then it seemed whenever the Lions got it, they just knew Sony's number or something. They just were bombing it. It was like one play score. It was like playing the Chiefs.
It was a shootout.
It was
It was a
insane.
total shootout. But that's honestly, I think that's kind of the fun of arena football. Is
Mhm.
like it's a shootout kind of game,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a shootout for like the whole time, and you're like, oh my god, this is so stressful. And then like your defense comes up with that one big play that you need to secure the win, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about arena football is because it's super back and forth.
Mhm.
And the high scoring is so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Like the high scoring's fun. I really enjoy it. It's a nice thing to have in the summer months when you're like, because I feel like April and May is the time where you're like twiddling your thumbs, like I just want to watch football. And now like your NAL comes in, and you're like, perfect. Now I have football. And it was, obviously my dream is to work in football. Someday I hope to be working for the New York Giants. And the fact that I was able to work with the Empire this year, it was awesome. I loved every minute, and I still love every minute of it because I'm still there right now. And it's awesome. It's a great environment, but I cannot tell you how stressed I was that championship game. Oh my god.
Oh
yeah. We were stressed, and I can't imagine you though. And then everybody for that.
Oh.
I mean, we were watching Levac on the sides and pacing back and forth. I think he lost some more hair that day, but it was pretty crazy.
I was sitting there praying to Tom Coughlin. From my house, we prayed to Tom Coughlin. So I was like, Coughlin, may you bless us.
It's like
I win.
That's hilarious.
When we won, it was like, I got home from school May 13th. May 14th, I was in the office, and I was in the office every single day from then until like August. So the winning was like, obviously I wasn't playing, but I'd put in so much work to that team and getting everything ready. And it was like the best feeling ever. You're like, it paid off in the best way possible. And, obviously as a Giants fan, like I was excited when we won the Super Bowl, but being on a team that wins a championship is a completely different feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And I get ice.
Yeah. She's got the bling too, the ring.
I get ice, man. That's good. I'm excited.
That's awesome.
It was the championship game was awesome. And I was like pulling my hair out the whole time.
Yeah.
My best friend was helping me out. Then she was like, you need to calm down. I'm like, no.
Yeah. You couldn't ask for a better game.
Yeah.
And again, I think it was Kenneth Magruder that had the interception at the end that sealed the deal. It was tight, but what kind of well, we know the impact, but how important was it for you guys, I think, to have Craig Peterson on your team? Because this guy, again, when we were down in that game where the Lions started to kind of pull ahead a little bit, and then for him to hit consecutive goals, 2-point conversions on the kickoffs to get us back into that game, and then ultimately put us up on the turnover and seal the deal. How important was it to have him on your guys' team?
That was clutch.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky that we have a kicker who has the accuracy to nail that on kickoffs. And I think we're also a little lucky with the arena we have that we don't have the Jumbotron hanging too low, because we played in Columbus. That was fun. But having him, he obviously, those two deuces played a huge role in us winning.
Mm-hmm.
And he 100% deserves the credit for that, because, we may not have won.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely pivotal.
And that's also a really fun part about the NAL is that, you have the 2 points on kickoffs, and they clearly can seriously impact the game. And I've always said, special teams never gets enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. In high school, in college, in the NFL, in the Arena League, special teams never, ever gets the credit that they deserve. So him hitting those two deuces was it was clutch. There's really no other word for it than clutch.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked to him after the game, and we talked to him after the game, the playoff game before that, and where he had missed, I think it was the first extra point or the first field goal, and we said, "Hey man, what happened? You missed that." And he goes, "Yeah, I don't know." He was like, "But he says it's textbook. You look past it, you get over it." I made the next couple, we move on, and it was clear that he was dialed in that night and performed for his team, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I have my Empire shirt on right now. I'm representing right now. So
love it. I love it. Looks great. I have this no, you can tell me he's the kind of guy who he can move on. He's a short memory, which is really important for especially players like kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're gonna think about that, you're gonna screw yourself over mentally. So I think it's definitely important. He's the kind of guy who can be like, all right, that wasn't my kick. I got the next one. So that his ability to do that came in handy because he helped us win the game.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know what would happen. I don't know if I'd be a Arena Bowl champion.
That's right.
Now you
Crack
got
the
one more
leg,
ring.
baby.
There you go. All right, I have one more question for you, and we like to have fun with our guys, people that we interview and things. At Gods, we've done a lot of different things about wrestling, Levac, drinking. I think I'm not sure what else is there, but we do a picks competition now on our show. Him versus me, Jim and Joe. Here we go, and the loser at the end of the year has to drink. It's a football-sized glass full of liquor. And we have to pick the liquor. They drink it on the show, and they get lit while we do another show right after the Super Bowl. It's a lot of fun. But, so I'm going to ask you, what is the worst bet that you have ever lost?
Worst bet I try not to bet too much because I always know I tend to find myself in like a really questionable situation. I like to avoid questionable situations. Like, I'm not a huge betting girl. Like, I'm more likely to tell somebody else, I bet you won't do that. Like, I'm definitely more I'll instigate you. But also most of the times, like, it's going to have to do with football. And honestly, the only thing I lost the bet, and I had a Cowboys friend in high school, and the Cowboys and Giants used to always play each other week 1, so we put $20 on the game, and the Giants lost. So I had them $20, so I decided to pay it in pennies.
Well, that's kind of I love that, because that's almost like a spite right back on them. So you really still got the upper hand on the whole thing. I love it.
Yeah, the other bets, I mean,
nobody made you shave your eyebrows or anything like that?
No, I've been bet by like my friends in fraternities. Oh, there's no way you can like drink that much. I'm like, okay.
Boom. I'll show you.
I will.
Yeah, there you go.
I will fall asleep on a couch somewhere, but I'll do it.
Right,
like,
right.
I'll do it.
Yeah, and that's why that's the same thing with ours. Like, that's why we're like, what are we gonna do? We can do different punishments here and there. And like, well, if somebody loses, you're kind of winning too, because you get to drink the whole thing of, what it might be and stuff. So yeah, and everybody enjoys the show. It's a lot of fun.
Exactly, it's a party.
But
I think that's a great punishment,
isn't it? Well, maybe we'll have to get you in on it. Maybe next season or something like that. Maybe Super Bowl. How about that? We'll throw it in there.
Always.
Excellent.
Yes, I'm down.
Excellent.
I'm down. I'm always down for football and partying, and they're my two favorite
Sweet.
things to do.
Well, that's what we'll do. We'll meet up with you at the game then, maybe tailgate, and we'll figure it out. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, and I think I feel a little better. Yeah, no problem. Even though my Giants suck at everything, I think getting it all out, and talking about it has made me feel a little better for now until Sunday, I guess, right? Yeah,
It really is.
It is. It's nice. But thank you so much for joining us, and we
Thank
hope
you
to.
for having me on.
No problem. Go Empire. Good luck and everything, and we hope to see you during the season again, maybe.
Oh, of course.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lindsay.
All right, Joe. That was pretty nice. That was pretty amazing.
No, it was
We
good.
got
It
to
was
talk
good.
about
We got-
everything, right?
Listen, we got. Listen, for you, I think it was more therapeutic
It does.
for
Like,
you
I seriously feel good.
and her.
Mm-hmm.
Because you guys both being Giants fans, you got a lot of things off your chests. We talked about it. We debated. We got everybody's opinion on it, and now we're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think we've come to the conclusion for the Giants is that your whole coaching staff and your GMs need to lock themselves in their houses because Jim and Lindsay could be coming right after you.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we could be running mates or something like that.
You guys will be the hitmen.
Something like that. If again, I've got the in now. Maybe she'd be like, I'm getting. If not commissioner, she'll be the GM. I'd be like, listen, I've coached flag leagues before. I got some plays. I'll show you this. I know what we're doing wrong. We talked about it.
The plays.
Yeah, I'm like, we'll do some more RPOs or whatever.
I call D coordinator.
Sounds good. Let's just make it a big Empire Football on the Know Godzilla Media family.
We got this.
Let's just do it. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to all the sponsors out there, too. Also, you see the things scrolling down there, Buck Environmental Solutions, Johnstone Supply, Mohawk Honda, Paul Perry Kitchens, and also don't forget Techie's Fire and Water Restoration, who covers all of our podcasts. Everybody out there listening to us on the podcasts, we really appreciate you guys joining us with them. They are all brought to you by Techie's Fire and Water Restoration, your quickest way to normal. And also, if you guys are out there with energy drinks, Raise Energy, go to repsports.com, hit the promo code, raise them up, and you can get 15% off your order. All because of us here. We love to help you guys out there, and we hope to see you guys real soon out there. But this is our special edition here of Tuesday night, Joe.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just want to say thanks, everybody. And just like Jim said, as far as repsports.com goes, any purchase, make sure you enter Raise Them Up for our promo code. It helps out our channel. It helps out the show. And we get like a small commission off of it. So we would really appreciate you guys. If you bought anything, make sure you enter Raise Them Up and at repsports.com. Also, hey, if you're a fan of the show, if you like what you see, if you're a newcomer, even if you're a newcomer, join us up, link up with us. You can email us. You can hop on YouTube. Any comments down below, don't be shy. If you want to follow us, go ahead over to YouTube, Football on the Know Show. You search us up there. We'll drop down, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell just to let you guys know when we go live. Also, if you don't like YouTube and you're just a Facebook guy or girl, you can go over to Facebook. Same thing. Search us up. Become a know-it-all. Become a member.
All right. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday nights for more Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.